Okay, so yes, welcome everyone to our lockdown, no, sorry, what is it? Christmas in lockdown July. Today, we thought we're going to sweeten the deal a little bit for you, and maybe you just need a break from the Olympics already. So let's sweeten the deal for you, and we are all very happy that you have chosen us over everything else what's on offer today. So what we're going to have on the menu before we head into the cooking straight away, I will just quickly say welcome to all the new owners of a Thermomix TM6, but I have also seen in your registration report, we do not only have TM6 owners here today, there's a whole lot of TM5 owners and TM31 owners, and we also have a couple of people in here today. They don't have a Thermomix yet. So if you like what you see today and you're contemplating, let me just quickly recap what's on offer for you. The price has changed slightly. The new price for the TM6 is now $2,359, so it's just $90 more, not really that much what we had feared it would be, so that's perfect. But you have at the moment, because it's end of July, you have at the moment the option for 2 different gifts with your purchase. So in case you're considering the upgrade, let me quickly show you what it is. So for the month of July, we have, show me hopefully the right thing, either the bread tin and the silicone baking mat, but stock's going very slow, going fast. The other way around, so stock is going to end soon. That's why you have also the option to take on our August offer, gift with purchase, and that would be our latest cookbook and the fabulous 2.6 litre thermos server that's on offer. So we're going to refer back to the book here today. And in case you're wondering, not all the recipes from the book are already available on Cookie-Doo. There will be more towards the end of the year, but not yet. Was an echo? I heard myself. Okay. In case you're here today and you're hosting, the July is also the offer for our host reward. The blade cover is going to end. So good that you're here today, and I hope your consultant will be in touch with you to make it happen that you can get your hands on the blade cover as a host reward. And finally, before we get started, so just so you know, so those of you who've got a TM6 already, you probably have heard that we have half-price business kit happening at the moment. So I want to invite you to have a look what we're doing here, to get to know the team today and think, oh, if that's something you would like to do, having a little bit of fun with us, doing the cooking, whether that's online or in person, it's completely up to you. You already have the most important part, you already have your TM6. All you need to purchase now is a business kit, and basically everything that I've put up over here, minus the bread tin. So a thermos server, a silicone mat, a transport bag, and all the other stuff that comes with it is half price, meaning this is valued at about $340 and you get it for $62.50. Yes, you heard right, $62.50. That's all your investment that you need to have a lockdown-proof business going on, either on the side or maybe as just an extra income that the family budget could need in times like this. If that's something of interest for you, I'm happy to hang out here a little bit later at the end of our presentations and have a chat with you, or just talk to your consultant and they can put you in touch with me or their team leader for that matter. Okay, enough talking from my end. Let's dive into the Christmas spirit. It's cold enough already, that's for sure. And we're going to kick off this session today with Melissa, who I have advertised as our baking specialist. She absolutely knows everything about baking, and she's going to present us today the Almond Biscotti. And then we're going to swap over to Megan, and Megan is our expert all things Pavlova. So these two guys that are going to have a little bit banter back and forth, all right, and happy for you to interact with us. So use the chat and ask your questions there. We're all going to have an eye on it, and I will read out the questions to Megan and or basically do all the presenters whilst they're doing it. So feel free. This is not just us talking. That's also for you to interact with us. All right. Kicking off with Melissa. Let me quickly find you so I can spotlight you. 1 second. Here we go. Ah, yes, there she is.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to be making a coconut and almond biscotti this afternoon. It's not the one from Cookie Do. It's actually slightly different, and there's 2 reasons for this. My next door neighbour actually brought this into me. She was making it, and her oven had packed up. And I've never been a huge biscotti fan, but I said, okay, you can use my oven. I want to try it. And it was really nice. And so I've gone with something that I know is a lovely flavour for you today. A normal biscotti, we'll be mixing the whipping the egg whites at the start. This one we don't. So we've got Meg with the Pavlovas showing you how to do that. This one is actually a very simple biscotti. I've gone with the ingredients from this other biscotti, which actually gluten-free one. So you can do a straight substitute from the plain flour to gluten-free plain flour, and this one works really well. So what it does have in it is baking powder. So I've just popped in there plain flour, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. I'm just going to give that a really quick mix around. Sift it, if you will, just to incorporate, make sure that the baking powder is incorporated through. So I'll just give it, whatever, 10 seconds on about speed 4, just enough to mix it through. That will do. And then away we go. What else can I tell you about this biscotti? I took it into work the next day. They all said yum. Everyone that I have shown this to has said yum. So once you try this one, I've been a bit reluctant to try another one because I know this one tastes really good. So I'm just using my little groovy brush, head cleaner, arm cleaner, pastry brush here to get all the last little dregs out of there. If you've got any questions, like Danny said, please just pop them in the chat, because I'm just here with myself in my ears. And it's lonely. Very lonely. All right, butterfly in. Don't overcomplicate it. The recipe, thanks Karen. I've actually uploaded the recipe to the files on the Bayside Thermomix community page. So if you don't know where to find them, just pop that on the chat and maybe Jenny can show you a bit later on. I've just popped my butterfly in there, and I am going to just mix through 1 egg and 1 egg white and some caster sugar. And that's just going to have to mix for 1.5 minutes. Very simple. The pastry brush is from the mix shop. It's a beauty. It's new, so it's got this little bit on one end, which is great for cleaning inside your arms, and the other end is a pastry brush, which is brilliant for getting stuff from the inside of your bowl, whether it be grated chocolate, milled cheese, flour, anything that's a bit dry, that's a bit hard to get it moving down your bowl with a spatula. All right, butterfly, eggs, 1 minute, speed 3. Very simple. And after that, all we're just doing is adding the dry ingredients in. So you can go back to Meg if you like and come back to me, or we can stay here. It's only a minute, up to you, Jenny.
Kathy, can I ask a question, Kathy? It's Sue. I noticed on your bench you've got a TM5 lid. Does that work in the TM6 as well, does it?
Yes, it does.
Measuring cup.
The TM6 measuring cup is great if I want to chop something and walk away. This I like because if I can take it out very quickly and have a look. So they're interchangeable and I use them both.
Thank you.
Someone's talking in the background. Someone? Okay. Here we go. So I'm just trying to add Megan to the spotlight. Here we go. Yes, I think that's going to work. So we just need to quickly unmute.
Hello everyone.
Hey.
Happy Sunday, happy Christmas in July. Yeah, so I'm going to be making a Pavlova Tower today. This one is from Cookie Do and also by Danny Vallant. So Danny, she writes reviews in The Age for restaurants. You see her advocating for restaurateurs at the moment a lot. Anyway, she's a great cook, and she loves Thermomix. So this is her one. For me, we almost always have a Pavlova at Christmas time, so it was a no-brainer for me today. But this one is a little bit different. It's Pavlova Tower. So you're actually like making little meringues. I don't have a picture, but we'll get there at the end. And then you've got cream and different flavors. So it's actually, it's not difficult, but there's quite a few steps. So you want to have everything prepared. So get all your ingredients out, get all your equipment, because we're going to be using some piping bags, butterfly. We need plenty of spoons and spatulas, so get all that ready. So I've done a bit of that today already, so it won't take forever. So the first thing that you make is a cherry syrup. Now, at the time when I made this on Friday, the syrup, I didn't have cherries, so I made a raspberry one, but I just used frozen raspberries instead of cherries. It says you can use fresh cherries or frozen, so mine's raspberry. I did the same, exactly the same, except she had cinnamon, I didn't put cinnamon. Anyway, so that's already prepared. It's really easy and it's delicious. So they're really good just to zhuzh up a dessert anyway. So I've already prepped that so you can make, you know, pretty things on your plate. Very easy to do. Okay, so what else? So Pavlova. Everyone talks about this with Thermomix and says, oh, well, can you really do that in here? There are a few tips that I will run over, and if anyone else has them, please come forward and say so. The main one I find is having a really clean bowl. Even when I was a kid and I used to make Pavlova at home with my mum, not in a Thermomix, she would always say, make sure you don't have any oil, don't have wet equipment. You don't want to get the egg yolk into your whites. So, you know, try not to split your egg when you're breaking them. Has anyone ever done that before? If you do, a good tip, maybe not quite so hygienic, is use your egg shell to grab any yolk out of your white. So what was that, Jenny?
Yeah, that's a good tip. Same for any eggshells. Best to use the normal shell to get it all up.
All right. Another one is that you should have room temperature eggs. I have even seen that it's quite good to let them sort of age a little bit, just as in, you know, have them out in the air like this. You could just leave those out today while you're getting everything prepared. Do that first, perhaps. What else? Caster sugar is probably the best one. This one actually uses a little bit of brown sugar, not raw sugar, it's brown and white, but we're going to mill it down. In fact, I've done that in advance for you. But just having that sort of texture, that caster sugar size crystal, is suitable for Pavlovas. We do have a stabilizer in it. It's cream of tartar. If you don't have that, you can use a same amount of corn flour, or a little bit of vinegar does the trick too. We are putting vinegar in too. So they're the general things. Oh, just going back to this, having it clean. How do you have it clean? So for me, I use my dishwasher. So I find that makes it fine. Everything goes in, including that. So that needs to be clean. Your whisk, your butterfly whisk, that needs to be clean. Some people do the vinegar wash. That's a pretty good method too if you don't want to use the dishwasher. So about 1 litre of water, 30 mils of vinegar, white vinegar, and just give it a wash for about 2 minutes with your butterfly in, because you want that to be super clean too.
You could also use the pre-clean function.
Yes, that's right. You could use the pre-clean function that is in the TM6. Is that the TM5?
TM5 has a pre-clean too, if they have a cookie and got the latest update, yes.
Yes. So in the pre-clean, there is actually a fat level clean, it probably would be good to use that because it actually uses, I think that uses vinegar too. Anyway, that's really, have it nice and clean. Okay, so with all that said, so I'd made my syrup. The next part was having, and this is where it's convenient to have 2 bowls, but I've done this in advance. We milled up the sugar. So we had white sugar and some brown sugar, and I've milled them together. It's the majority is white sugar to about the caster sugar size crystal. And then you need to clean your bowl. So that's why I've done it in advance. Or if you've got 2 bowls, have 2 nice clean bowls. Then the next thing is we're going to start whipping the egg whites. So we need the butterfly whisk. Now it's just a matter of popping it into the bowl, onto the top of your blade. Nothing very special about that. I tend to sort of just twist it on, but it just sits on top really. And once it starts moving, it sort of locks into place. And certainly with the egg whites, I don't have any trouble with that. Anyway, so it's actually, the recipe is 8 egg whites. But I've actually used 6 because I already made some yesterday. And so I did 2/3 of the sugar as well. So 2/3 of the whites, and it was quite forgiving, or no issues. All right, so it says put your butterfly in, add your whites. And now I've got half a teaspoon of cream of tartar that just goes in there as well. Right. And where are we up to? Sorry about that, just get up to the right spot. Now I've also got the oven on 150 degrees, and when we put the meringues in there, we're going to drop that down a little lower. Right, there.
Lots of details in the recipe.
There's so many steps. Anyway, here we go. We're getting there. Half a teaspoon tartar without the measuring cup. So that's another thing about your Thermomix, that we want to let a little bit of air in. It actually allows the egg whites to sort of dry. So if you have your lid on, it creates a little bit much moisture. So follow the recipe, it says without the measuring cup. And it's going on for 4 minutes, and it's actually going to heat it to 37 degrees. So it's just like tepid room temperature or warm room temperature. And it's on speed 3.5. And this is, you know, hopefully all goes well. It just comes up to the top. It's all nicely whipped after 4 minutes. So I'll get going on that.
Okay, thank you very much. There was a lot of valuable information for that. We're going back to Melissa's kitchen. Here we go.
All right, this is only the last little bit of this recipe. It's very quick. So that's my eggs and my sugar in there. It's the colour and the consistency of cream. So we don't have to be too fussed about whipping it up to a great speed. I'm just going to keep this going on speed 3. And I'm going to add a squirt of good old Costco vanilla bean paste. There. And 100 grams of oil, which I'm just going to drizzle in there. And just whip that all through for about 20 or 30 seconds. Then we add the dry ingredients, and then we're done. So just make sure that's incorporated. Even at that nice biscotti, yellowy kind of colour. That'll probably do for that. So we're going to put these into some loaf pans, bake them, bring them out, cut them into slices, and then bake them again. That's what makes them nice. Let go, butterfly. There's not a huge amount of mixture in there. Show you if you like. Oh, that's still nicely yellow now, but biscotti colour, if that makes sense. So in there, I'm going to put my sifted flour, baking powder, and salt. I've also got some shredded coconut, which gives this a really nice little chew. And I have just chopped by hand some roasted almonds. I know that I could have put them in the Thermomix, but I wanted to be in control of the size that they are, and it was just easier to do that if I did it by hand rather than having big chunks. Not big chunks. My recipe says 30 seconds, speed 3 to mix it through.
Oh,
I've got my 2 loaf pans prepared here.
yeah, okay.
I'll give it a stop. Now, the other thing I do when I'm making cakes, obviously you've got a bit of flour around the outside there, so I'm just going to incorporate that in. And when I give it the last little time, I always like to put it on reverse just to make sure that there's nothing sort of stuck underneath the blades, and just make sure everything is incorporated. So that's all. What are we up to? We're up to minute 56 so far. It's not a very lengthy recipe, this one, but very tasty. All right, I'll just give that a quick spin on reverse. Another speed 3, another 20 seconds. And just all incorporated. That'll do. So what we're going to do, I've just greased and lined a couple of little loaf pans. I'm going to divide the mixture between the two, brush the top of it down with some water and my pastry brush. It's quite thick. What are you making, Melissa? I am making coconut almond biscotti.
And the recipe is on our Bayside Thermomix community group. Yep. If you're not a member of the group yet, please find us on Facebook, and I'm happy to add all of you to our lovely community. We'll be sharing.
Yep. Or you can reach out to your consultant and I can give them the recipe. They can email it to you as well. So that's another option. Now, another little hack that I like to use. So we've got some stuff stuck around the blades there. I've scraped as much as I can off the sides. This is the best user hack of all. Just put everything in there and just give it a quick spin, not on reverse, doesn't matter, reverse either. Just to fling it off the sides. Just a nanosecond, just whiz it up, stop it again. And what that's going to do is fling everything off the blades, and it's flung it around the outside of the bowl to make it a lot easier to scrape the last little bit out. So obviously this is a great method for any kind of cake or biscuit dough, bread dough, mashed potato, anything like that. Anything where you've got stuff stuck around the blades and you want to get it on because you'd rather cook with it and eat it than scratch it off with your brush and tip it down the sink.
Very important tip, especially for guacamole, because whatever you try, you can't lick the bowl.
You can if you're in your own kitchen.
No, your head won't fit in. I've tried.
So there you go. I've got a very clean bowl now. So I'm just going to smooth the top of that down with my pastry brush and some water, and I'm going to bake it in the oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. So when that comes out, I'll wave to you, Jenny, and then I will give it a bit of a slice. A couple of different ways we can do it. You actually slice it while it's still hot. So sometimes the bits break off and you have to eat them. But we can give a knife a try. Someone said to me yesterday to try an electric knife. So we'll give both methods a try and see which one works best. Okay. So that's me out for about 25 minutes. Thanks, Jenny.
Oh, perfect. And we're heading back to the Pavlova Towers with Megan.
Okay, so here is the egg white. So nice and firm peaks here with that. And, you know, even though I told you it was all fine, of course I panicked when I was going, but it did it itself. I didn't have to worry. It all comes out 4 minutes later, so that's good. So what happens next? This is also important with Thermomix Pavlova, and any Pavlova, to be honest. You need to add your sugar in while it's whisking, and you need to do that slowly. So we're going to have this on for 4 minutes, and I'm going to add the sugar over 4 minutes. So you just do a teaspoon at a time. I normally do a tablespoon, and just as long as you don't tip the whole lot in, because you'll lose the nice airiness. So that's what I'll be doing for the next 4 minutes. So pop it on. I'll get going and show you.
Yes, we're going to watch the beginning.
And we also add, I've got some the vinegar and some vanilla essence in here. They will also get thrown in, but nothing special about when they go in. Normally I put them in at the end, but I don't think that matters too much. All right. So same thing, it's speed 4, it's 37 degrees, and it's on 3.5, speed 2.5. and just slowly adding in that through the lid.
Okay.
Just let it go. So you've got 4 minutes. So just do some meditation of adding sugar in slowly. So that's it.
That's very nice. So you go back to your Zen place, and we are heading over to Elizabeth. We're basically going to leave the sweet space now and heading into the savory part of our menu today. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi everybody, welcome to I call it my relaxed quick kitchen. It's because I tend to be a little bit slapdash and slap happy, and a lot of my food seems to fall on the floor. Anyway, today I am making for you steamed scallops with cauliflower and truffle puree. We have served this at our Christmas lunch because my family tend to do little finger foods and little snacky things before we sit down to the main meal. This is a particularly delightful one and very, very suitable for summer. But I'm going to be enjoying this for dinner tonight. So we're going to get started. And by the way, it's on Cookie Do, but it's in this particular book, which is a fabulous, I don't know if you can see it, it's a bit shiny. It's festive flavour. So it's a great inspiration for getting things prepared for the Christmas time. So oopsie days. I'm always good at that. My recipe is only got 7 ingredients. It's very quick. Now it says 1 garlic clove. Well, I'm sure they meant 2.
Sure.
And we're going to give that a quick zhuzher. So it's only 3 seconds on speed 7. Come on, open up your little arms. Thank you. This is always a wow thing for me, how quickly and how efficiently the blades work. Now, it's saying that I need to push down the sides because we're going to be doing a little bit of cooking.
Saute.
The other thing that I'm thrilled to have chosen this recipe is that we're using the Varoma, and a lot of people seem to be very frightened about using their Varoma. So we're going to be using that today. So I've scraped down the sides of the bowl. Of course, I've got all my ingredients ready so that we don't waste valuable time. It is fun, but we don't want you getting bored. And now I'm inserting my measuring cup. And it'll be 2 minutes at 100 degrees. Now, I think you're going to zhuzh over to somebody else, Jenny, while that's happening.
That's exactly right. Okay. So we are going to see Sandy, the beautiful Sandy. Hello.
Hello, how are we?
Good, good.
Welcome everybody to my kitchen in Sandringham. So today I am doing a mulled wine, which I can't think of anything nicer. It's a crappy cold day out there. I'm looking forward to just putting the fire on and having one of these wines later on. But it's a very quick, easy one for us today. So you can see here I've got mulled wine. I've already got it scheduled. So I'm just going to say start cooking. And it's just wanting 80 to 120 grams of raw sugar. Now, I have just sort of gone 80 because I have made this before and I don't like it very sweet at all. And I want to be able to taste the wine. So I am just putting my raw sugar in. So I've got my raw sugar. And then it's asking for 250 grams of water. So I'm going to just put my water in. It should hopefully be about right. 249, squeeze out the last few drops. 250, there we go. And then it's asking for 20 grams of lemon juice, so approximately half a lemon. I don't know about anyone else, but I have lots and lots of lemons going on. So there's great recipes for lemons at the moment. So I've just got my 20 grams of lemon juice. And then what else does it ask for? 2 cinnamon quills, and I'll have a look. It's going to ask for a few other things. So 2 cinnamon quills, 12 whole cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg. So I've got all of that in my little cup. So I'm just going to put everything in now. Okay. And then it's just asking us just to put the lid on, and we're going to cook that for a little while. So it's going to be now 5 minutes on 100 degrees, and it just wants us to turn it to speed 1. So I'm just going to turn that to speed 1 now, and off we go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So we're coming back to you later when we're adding the wine to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're quickly hopping back to Elizabeth's kitchen, and now we continue with the scallops.
Right, well, I'm still got 20 seconds, 15, 14 seconds to go. What I'd love to just add in, I made some tandoori paste 2 days ago, and it asked for cinnamon, and I only had the quills. I didn't have the ground cinnamon. Well, I didn't let that stop me. I had my second bowl, I threw the quills in, and it zhuzhed it up in just a matter of seconds to a fine powder. Again, the wow factor. So my next step now, for those who've got the TM6, if you haven't done it, do the caramelized onions. That happens so fast and you hear it sizzling away. Well, this is pretty much what's happened just now. And you see my garlic is beautifully been having a little cook, my butter's melted, so it's getting it ready to go to the next step, which is adding the cauliflower. So in goes the cauliflower into florets. Whoopsie daisy. See, I'm always dropping things out of the bowl and onto the floor. The next thing is, oh, come on, off you go. 100 grams of, they always trick me. They say full cream milk, and I think it's cream, but it's actually milk. I would be a bit tempted, though, to use cream. It would make it a lot richer, but I thought for today I would stick to the recipe.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, using cream instead.
Yeah. The other thing too is I'm keto. This is keto friendly, which makes me also very joyful because it means I'm going to get to eat this later. So in goes the measuring cup lids. And I've now got 12 minutes of fun time cooking my cauliflower. So see y'all in about 12 minutes.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And we are heading back to Sandy's kitchen. How is the cooking going? Oh, well, we've still got 2.5 minutes to go.
Let's go.
That's all right. Oh, I get away from Megan. Let's quickly hop back to Megan's kitchen.
Hey, hi. Well, mine is ready for the next stage. So I'm just going to show you, this is what I've got out of mine. So it was completely full. And remember, I use 6 eggs, not 8. So plenty of fluffy meringue ready to go. So what happens now is you put it into 3 different bowls. I'm actually going to do 2 just for ease and quickness today. But what we are doing is making a cocoa one, a raspberry or cherry one with the bit of the cherry sauce that you made, and mine's raspberry, and the other one will be just white. So you're going to have like 3 color of meringue, but I'll just do 2 today just for quickness. So I've got that here, and you just add 2 tablespoons of your cherry sauce. If you're doing the cocoa, then you just do a tablespoon of cocoa and you just fold it through, even lightly folding so it's a bit marbled effect is quite good. Anyway, use a metal spoon. If you've got a metal bowl, that's good too. I don't know why, but that's what it says. Anyone know that? Anyway, you don't need to whip it. You don't need to whip it. You just want to lightly fold that through because the effect, is just nice at the end anyway, and you don't want to take the air out of your meringue. Anyway, I've got these bags ready to go. What I tend to do is fold it into a large jug or something, a bowl with that upwards, and then drop my meringue into it, or if it's cream, whatever you're doing. Let's get that in. This could be messy. No, it's looking good. And then we're going to put these onto lined trays that you should have prepared earlier, which I've done. This is a little tip that I found yesterday. I spread out my little meringues a bit too far, and then I was like, how am I going to fit all of these in the oven? So you don't need to spread them out too far. They're not like cookies or biscuits that spread out, they pretty much keep their shape. So as long as you give them a little space in between, you'll be good. Now let's get that in. So it says in the recipe to make them about 4 centimeters in diameter, which is about that size.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So there we've got that. Pop that out the way. I also found that sort of flat trays are good. Just depends how your oven works, but getting all of these meringues into here.
Real life, real kitchen, that's fine. Everyone's at home and on Zoom.
Everyone's there. Right. Anyway, so here we go. I don't know if you'll be able to see too well. We've got lots of things happening. Right. So it's very easy. You just dob them out and give it a little squish at the top. Let's see if you can see that.
Yeah, you can see that's great. Yeah.
So do that, and I'll show you how close you can have them together. Oops, something a bit funny.
Oh, yum.
Yeah. So see the pink is coming through. It's quite
Nice.
cute. And you can have them that close together. So you could actually, you know, have like 16 or even 20 possibly on there. Now, this one also had, I didn't tell you, it says you can put a little bit of freeze-dried fruit on it. I went to a health food shop yesterday. They didn't have it. And the sauce, they didn't really have it. But Woolies just had a packet of these freeze-dried strawberry crisps, and I just ground them up. And then you can use that as a little sprinkle on the top. So you put that on now, so before you cook them. So I'll just show you that.
Oh, yes.
And you could do the same with the cocoa.
Great idea.
So,
yeah.
So that's and they'll go into the oven. They go in the oven for 1 hour, and then you need to leave the oven closed for two more hours on that. So we won't have to wait that long today. I've made some in advance. But as I said, I'll make some white ones, and you can make some of the chocolate ones as well. So you get the 3 colours. So
great.
That's about it for now. Yes.
Thank you. I think we can head back to Sandy's kitchen now. Yes, I can see the arms are open.
Exactly. All right. So I'm just taking my measuring cup off. Having a smell. It smells good. So I'm using a Shiraz today, just a McLaren Vale Shiraz. So you don't want to use necessarily some cheap, nasty red wine. Remember, you are going to be drinking this later. So pick a nice wine that you think you're going to enjoy and use. So I'm just going to put this in. That's my whole bottle of Shiraz.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It's the same, like Megan said the other day when we were making a chocolate dessert. Just use good chocolate and use good wine. It's something you eat. It's not, you know, compromising the quality just because you're cooking it or processing it sometime. So it's just good for you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's something that you always want to use good quality products when you're cooking. So
yeah. Makes sense.
All right. So I'm just going to put my measuring cup back in now, and it's going to cook now for 7 minutes on 80 degrees, and it just wants it on speed 1. So it's that simple. And after this, it's just going to ask me to strain it so that all the spices and everything will go into the simmering basket. And I'll just put that into a jug and get a really long straw.
Okay, that's great. So from my running sheet, next person up would be Melissa again, but I can't see her in her kitchen. Oops! Slow. She's not. Hang on.
Sorry, I've been stacking my dishwasher.
Your take. Well, how's the baking looking from here?
It smells amazing, and they're cooking away. So they take about 25 minutes. So I worked it out about 3 o'clock. They should be coming out.
Okay, great. Well then,
So I'll go back to my dishes,
Elizabeth?
but I'm listening.
That's okay. She's not ready yet. You know what? Then I'm going to step in and I'm going to, so now I just need to find my other screen. Here we go. Here I am. Hello. So I was just down a little bit later. That's why I haven't put on my machine yet, but I can talk you through. That's absolutely no problem. So I have tried this recipe earlier in this week to obviously to be able then to give you some tips and tricks and just knowing what I'm doing. So what I did to actually, first of all, how to get access to the recipe quite quickly. So you saw that with the others, they already, they were doing this guided cooking. So for the Team 31 owners and the new or non-owners here, you probably think, well, how do they know all these recipes? We don't, right? So sometimes we haven't even tried the recipes before. We just go with it. And but what we did is we have selected that recipe from Cookie Do, put that in our weekly meal plan, or just selected it for today. And whatever we do on Cookie Do, we can then go straight to the machine and bring up the recipe here. So we go into the menu, I go into my week. I could also go into recently cooked because it's already on there on the machine. But as for today, I find the a couple of recipes and all I need to do is click on it and start cooking. All right, so we go on the screen. First step, it wants me to weigh in 50 grams of chocolate, dark chocolate, and that's just what I did previously. So this is 50 grams and I just broken that into pieces. Okay, so no need to mill that or make that even smaller, but pieces just like that are fine. And we're going to later on pour the mixture, the custard mixture, to this and give that a whisk, and then the chocolate will dissolve and make a chocolate custard out of this. In the next step, then it says put that aside, and I just quickly need to check if anyone else is waving at me when they are ready. No, they're not. No one is. Okay. And now it wants me to weigh in 40 to 50 grams of raw sugar. So those of you who know me know I'm a sugar-free person. Sugar-free of 8.5 years now, so I'm not going to reintroduce the sugar just because the recipe asked me to do so. I have found this monk fruit sweetener now, and that's my preferred sweetener of choice because, like Elizabeth, also I'm a low carber, and this is the perfect sweetener that suits my needs. And I use that one-on-one as a sugar replacement. Okay, so I'm going to use 40 grams today. By the way, I find this one at Costco, and I think the whole bag is 500 grams is $11 or something. I think it's a great value for that. And popping that in, and now it wants 15 grams of corn flour. And why was that? The name of the sugar, it's monk fruit sweetener. Let me just bring that a bit closer, with erythritol. Okay, and the warm up malt. Is that a different conversation? If someone having a comment, can someone talk? Sorry, help me with the chat here, thank you. So 15 grams of corn flour. By the way, I'm not a fan of corn flour. I'm using tapioca flour. You can replace the same thing, but that's personal taste. And again, it comes probably back to the quality topic we just had a little bit earlier. That's the thickener in the custard. 500 grams of milk. There we go. Oops. So depending on the temperature of your milk, that's how long the thickening will will take. So earlier this week when I made it, I had my milk straight from the fridge, and I had about, I think, 11 or 12 minutes for the thickening. This time this is room temperature, so I hope this will speed up a little bit. The thing is, what we're going to do in this recipe, we're going to use the thickening malt. That's a built-in malt in the TM6. It's just vanilla. It says vanilla extract. Again, I'm not a fan of extract. I like the paste. I could make that myself, but I'm a little bit going for convenience here, so I buy that. Again, at Costco, it's a good value for money there. Adding 2 eggs. Talking about malts, that was where I stopped myself. So we've got a built-in malt, and that's called a thickening malt. So this is for the TM5 honest. You know, we have these automated recipes, and there is a custard recipe in there as well. Pretty much, well, similar, because with the custard in the TM5, you can only make custard. With the thickening malt in the TM6, you could also use that for your savory sauces, like your bechamels or béarnaise or whatnot sauces, hollandaise. And all I need to do is basically turn the dial and start. So here the timing, I can't set that. The machine will determine based on the temperature of the ingredients. It's going to heat that up to 80 degrees. And instead of speed 1 to 10, I only have that thickening malt symbol here. Okay, so I'm going to turn on, just wait a little bit, because once I turn it on, I need to work fast. And we're heading back to Elizabeth for now. Yes, see you, baby.
Already. Just one little thing I've got to do now for my cauliflower is add the truffle oil. Now, if you think truffle oil, where do I get that? The supermarket has it. So not a problem. And it's only a teaspoon because it's quite flavoursome. And I'm very, very fond of truffles myself. At one point, I was in the position where I was going to start growing them. You buy them in an oak tree and it's already in the roots. So this is very, very quick. And I've added my truffle oil. Oh, sorry, salt. There we go. Always good. And the next bit is 30 seconds on speed 7. Now, for that 30 seconds, I don't want to lose you. I hope you can still hear me. But if you've been seeing, I've been using this, which is fabulous. Thank you. I didn't know that I could store it here because I couldn't find it.
That's a great place to store it. That's true. If you do some kneading though, sometimes it comes off. So it's a good warning.
All right. 3, 2, 1. We're done. So this is where your second bowl comes in. So handy. Just pop that over there for the time being because we're going to now do the scallops. So I've already done that. Rinse and dry mixing bowl. Don't have to. So I've already put the water in there. And now I'm placing the lid on, and there is a little something I want to share with you. Now, look, it's quite simple. You just plonk it on, and away you go. So don't be frightened of this. But what I want to show you is I've got the scallops in there, and you see that I've got some paper, some baking paper that's got holes in it. That saves me from having to work very hard at cleaning off my thing when I'm finished using it. So these can be bought at the mix shop, very handy. They've already got the holes punched in. For doing fish or chicken or whatever, it's a good idea to wet it first. If you're just doing vegetables, probably don't need to. So I've got some cooking time and then I'm going to be turning them over. So I'll see you when I'm ready to plate up. Thank you.
No worries. So I wonder where we can go next. Melissa, are you ready? Perfect.
I reckon. Give it a crack. Hang on a minute. I've got to get rid of my chat off my screen. All right, let's get one out and have a look. I just tested one a second ago, so I think they'll be okay. Oops. Yeah, a little tray. All right, so we're looking very delightful in there. It's grown nicely. Test to see if the skewer comes out clean, and it does. I don't know. I think I would like to give that another 5 minutes. Is that all right, Jenny?
Absolutely, that's okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Shame I haven't learnt to juggle or tap dance, because then I could entertain you, but
that's all right. I'm just trying to also answer questions in the chat box at the same time, and there's still people joining us, which is great. So
all right, I'll pop these back in the oven and come back to me in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, okay, great. So no, Megan, everyone's busy, that's great. Well, then we come back to me. Not really much to see, so I haven't started it yet, but I will do it now. Okay, so you can just see how this works. I hope it's close enough. So now I get the timing here. It says approximately 10 minutes. And what I did, the blades have started turning, mixing it all together, and it will also start heating. So you can see that when it starts to heat, when it's actually heating inside the bowl, these lights are sort of breathing, right? They come on and off and on and off. And once you hit 60 degrees inside the bowl, then these lights will turn red. It's another safety feature. It's always good to know when you have children in the house that they know something's cooking in the Thermomix and not just mixing. This amount will, so the 10 minutes, they will go down over time. This is similar like when you try to upload a file somewhere on a computer and it says estimate time is 3 hours and then 5 minutes later it's done. Okay, so that's pretty much the same here. The machine is intelligent enough to calculate constantly and adapt the time there. But there's nothing more we need to do. And yeah, just watching. Okay, in saying that, we have, so maybe we have a look at Megan, looking her a little bit over the shoulder, how she's doing the assembling.
Yes, hello. Okay, so yeah, yes, my meringues have gone in the oven and I'm just getting prepared with my other ones I prepared yesterday. So I've got some little meringues that I did yesterday. I've got some nice berries and I did find some cherries subsequently, and I've got the sauce. So, and some whipped cream. So that's the thing. I'm not showing the whipped cream, but you know, it is a great
oh, I think we lost, Megan, we lost your sound.
I'll just take them out. Can you hear me now?
Technical issues. As always. Say something.
Hello, come in.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my husband somehow connected. Anyway, right, what was I telling you? Oh, about the cream. So whipping of cream, there is the recipe there. It says 800 mils of cream, quite a lot of cream. I did actually 600, and it says 45 seconds at speed 3.5. But the thing about cream is, you know, it changes. You know, your cream can be how much grass did the cow eat, a bit like when you're frothing milk for a coffee. So you need to listen to your Thermomix or listen to your whipping. So you'll actually hear the change. And you can open the measuring cup, take the measuring cup off, have a look inside, how is it looking? Because, you know, it just seems that you can see how thick it is. So that's what I always do. So it was a little bit longer than the recipe said. So just have a listen. You can always stop it, get a spoon and check how thick it is. If it looks a bit runny, do it a little longer. There's no harm in that. And of course, if you go too far, you can always make butter. We won't do that today. Okay, now I'm
It's going to get a little stick. No knife. The accidental butter. I've quickly hand over to Elizabeth, and she is going to unmute herself, and then we're going to have a look how the steaming is going. There we go. Yes.
I have unmuted myself. Have
Yes,
I disappeared?
You
Oh,
have.
cool, because there's a little message there saying, oh, you want me to. Steaming is going very slowly. My bowl's hot, my little red lights are on. You're supposed to, oh, you see, now I can see the steam coming up. You steam one side and then you have to turn them. But what I've done is I didn't feel it was cooked enough on the one side, so I've repeated that, and I expect I'll have to repeat twice again for the other side. So I've got my little plate all ready to roll, and I've got my shells set up. So I'm just now waiting for my scallops to be the right cooking.
Okay, can I just say that I just want to compliment your plating skills. That looks already so delicious from over here. Okay, so now comes the turning.
So I'll be turning them over.
We've got a question for you.
Yes.
Should we preheat the water before putting the scallops on?
No.
No.
Well, look, it would probably speed things up if you did, but you've got to remember the TM6 is actually a kettle. And when I said do the caramelized onions, it is so quick, and the heating is very, very fast.
Yeah.
So,
and
yes.
Scallops really only need a couple of minutes, so they already, so like with all the proteins, I have to come a bit closer. Sorry, my thickening is happening here in the background. So yeah, with all the proteins, they already start cooking from 60 degrees. So even when you're using Varoma temperature here, that is probably, well, that's a little bit too hot. So that's why they start cooking already whilst the steam or the water is still heating up. So that's all calculated. That's why we trust these Thermomix recipes when they say put the scallops in straight away whilst the water is heating up. And then you turn them around, and then depending on the size of the scallops, the rest of the steaming time is 2 to 6 minutes. So again, always depending on the size of the ingredients and to your liking, obviously, as well.
Mine will take a little bit longer because they're quite generous in size. I'm very lucky. I live down on the Mornington Peninsula. I'm in Blairgowrie, and we have quite a few really good quality seafood shops here. So I had some really, really big ones. So they're taking a little bit longer than the recipe. When I look at the picture of the scallops, they're about half the size of the ones that I've in the book. And on the screen, they're about half the size of the ones that I've got. So we'll have to just hurry. I can hardly wait. I'm hungry.
So back to Melissa. She is already, yes,
waving.
She's waving and cutting.
I am cutting. I just wanted to try it while no one was watching in case it didn't work. So I did one go with the Thermomix bread knife, which is an absolute cracker. I hate to be a real salesperson, but this is the best bread knife I've ever owned. I did have a go with my electric knife, and it was just a bit violent. So I'm doing it with my bread knife. I'm doing it about, I don't know, 1/2 centimetre thick. I found the last time I made this, if you turn it upside down, slice from the bottom, it's a little bit easier. Nice little slice like that. And I'm just popping them all on a tray like this. And then I'm just going to give them another 5 minutes in the oven. And then you get these little bits that break off that you'll have to pop in your mouth and try. So I'm just going to keep going. I've got my other one over there cooling. So I'm just going to keep slicing these. I'm being very gentle, and it's also a little bit warm to touch, but these ones are holding their shape quite well. So I'm quite happy with these. Obviously commercial ones are wafer thin, but these are actually really nice, about 1/2 centimetre thick.
do we have any Italians in the audience? Because I've learned somehow that biscotti actually means twice cooked or twice baked, something like that. So that's the literal translation. So if the dough is a little bit, and you said it was a bit spongy first, that's okay. So they don't cook through in the loaf form. So
no, they're not actually, and you can. I don't know whether you'll be able to see if I show you here. I don't know whether you can see that, but the center of them is still a little bit darker and a little bit moist. So they're not by any chance, any stretch cooked all the way through. So they're still just a smidge under on the inside.
Then the idea is to cut them and bake them again, and that's when they crisp up. Obviously, you need sugar for that.
Yes.
Work with the sugar replacements. I can give you that much. So not everything can be replaced with the.
No. And these are crunchy without being bust your teeth hard. So you could still dunk them in your coffee, but they're also really nice. And because they've got that's too hard. I'm not going to try and cut that. Because they've got coconut in them, shredded coconut. They've just got a nice little chew. They're really nice.
Okay. I think Megan wants us to come back. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I was actually also going to say that years ago I made biscotti for the first time, and I kept testing it and thinking, oh gosh, it's still soft. I must have to keep cooking. So I kept putting them back in, and then eventually they were so rock hard. So they do harden on cooling. Right. Okay. So going back to mine, I've got these. I just want to show you how you can make the your raspberry puree or whatever fruit puree look cute. So you just put a little dob in, and you can have a knife or toothpick or something, and you just run your little implement through it, and it creates little dollops that look cute. That. Now we're going to start stacking it. Janie, was that you? Because I know you'll have to
me.
jump back.
So unfortunately we have to come back to me now.
No, that's okay.
But there's a reason behind that. So once the thickening mode has finished, we have to work quickly. So that's the custard, and as you can see, it's still very liquidy, but it will thicken up in absolutely no time. So now, following the recipe, it wants me to pour in 1/3 of the custard into the bowl, and I would say that's about it. Pop the rest back in, and so I've just added that to the chocolate chips, and now I'm just using a normal whisk and start combining this, and the chocolate will basically dissolve into the custard mixture. All right, it's very easy, and again, it doesn't have to be too fine. You can also use chocolate melts if you want, so cooking chocolate. But again, coming back to the idea of having good quality ingredients. And as you can see, whilst I'm doing this, it's already thickening up, okay? So again, we have to be quick following the recipe. And that means put the bowl back into the machine, and now it wants 70 grams of peanut butter. I went for the shop bought one here. It's a smooth peanut butter. Wouldn't use a crunchy one in this recipe. Why not? I don't know, it's just personal taste, but you could try. So if you want to have your custard crunchy with a little bit of crunch, then obviously you can do that as well. And here we go, just for convenience, and popping the lid back on and doing this for 10 seconds, and it says go to speed 5. All right, all I need to do is flick the dial and it stops at speed 5 automatically. So I keep on whisking this, just doesn't thicken up too much. Ooh, that was quick. And now we are going to pour this the peanut mixture now into the glasses, like that. Oh, probably should do that from an angle so you can see. Sorry about that. So any kind of glasses, you could also have a nice cocktail glass also using, that's completely up to you. There we go. And now it wants us to add a dollop of the chocolate custard on top and give that a swirl. Go. And can you see how thickened there? That's already has thickened up. So just it will sink in a little bit. That's fine. And same like Megan did. So we're going to give that a little bit of swirl. I'm using the back side of my spoon. Okay. That one failed me a little bit. So just mixing it up. Yeah, great. Always when you want to demonstrate something. I'm mixing that through. Now it has vanished. Okay, fantastic. All right, so that the white stuff hasn't thickened up enough already, so it's sunk in a little bit, but I can always have a little bit more here to put that on top. And yes, so what you can do then to top that also with some toppings, just to decorate, you could use some shaved chocolate chips, for example. No, not chocolate chips, shaved chocolate. I'm going to use just some peanuts, some mixed peanuts, again, so just for the decoration. You could make a peanut brittle. That is also a great recipe from a TM6 recipe, which uses high heat to do sugar work. I've tried that with the monk fruit sweetener. Didn't really turn out too good because this monk fruit sweetener does crystallize. But for the TM5 owners amongst you and TM31 owners, there's in the Festive Flavor cookbook, there is a recipe and it's called Almond Addiction, and it doesn't use the high heat. Similar to that, so you could also do that, make that in advance, and then just break it up and have that on top of your custard. Here we go. You can see a little bit of swirl there on the side. That one is actually a bit better, but I'll try and see if I can work that in. All right, so coming back to who's next? I think we're going back to Megan again. Is that right? One more time?
Yes, one more time. Okay, so it's been hard to see, but I put some dobs of the cream on there. So we're going to start creating the tower. Just from my experience yesterday, I made some of the meringues that I've put in the oven now, a bit bigger than these ones, but this is what I've got now. So just start placing those onto the cream, so that will help them sit still. So use your bigger ones on the bottom and use the different colours. Not that they come out significantly different. Oh, you can see that, yeah. Whoops. And it's just, it's not difficult. It's just putting them on, and we're going to add some fruit in and then some more layers of cream. So I'll get some more cream in there. So don't be put off. It's a bit of fun. And another thing is with these, if you wanted to, you could actually just, you know, put some cream between them and serve them on the table, so people could just grab them and eat a little meringue with cream inside. Let me get this. So there, and then just keep building on that. So a few more of those. So the ones at the bottom, like, you're not really even going to see, so that's why you don't have to worry too much. You could add in a little bit of your berries along the way.
The ugly ones go on the bottom.
Yes, the ugly ones definitely go on the bottom. And then where can we put that? Bit more cream, and keep building it up. So I'll keep working on that, but it's really simple, but it's quite effective. And, you know, it's nice for sort of a buffet table because people can just take a few pieces and rather, no one has to actually cut it. You can just pick them up with, you could even use some tongs to pick these up. Yeah. Now, the other thing is, it would be nice if you had a little few sprigs of mint. I don't have any of that today, sorry, but you'll get the gist.
That's fine, as long as you don't put any coriander on it. We have a question: can you make meringue with monk fruit? There is this lady called, hang on, let me just quickly, sorry, there is this lady called Meg Allen. So I found her on Facebook. She has made meringue with erythritol powder. I've tried it, hasn't worked for me. So I would say apparently it's not impossible, but at the same time, I cannot really say it works. So it's just some things don't work with the real deal. It's just what the sugar has in them. So yeah, give it a try and see. Maybe you will have more luck, and also probably a bit more patience than I have. I'm actually not really good with dessert, so as you can see today. Okay, so we're doing one more round, and everyone showing us their dishes now that they have plated up and presentable, and we're going to kick off the presenting with the beautiful, here she is, beautiful Sandy.
Ooh, welcome back. So as you would have known, we heated up the wine cooked for those extra 7 minutes, and then it was perfectly fine. It was all I needed to do was strain it. So that's where you use your simmering basket. So you put your simmering basket in and you just strain it, and obviously all the liquid is going to come, you know, out the front here, and all the spices and everything that we had going on in the bowl. Stay in the bowl. So you use your simmering basket. It's great. I use mine when we're doing the butter and everything to separate the butter from the buttermilk. So use your simmering basket. It's great. But yes, so we are all done. So my mulled wine is absolutely, smells delicious. I've already had a sneaky taste and it smells
beautiful.
You're lucky there's any left in the jug, I think. But yes, so that's all done, and you can just dish it up, pour it into some nice glasses. I've just got a couple of slices of orange in there, and I've put another little cinnamon quill in the glass. But I'm just going to have it.
Great. Yeah,
so good.
Is it? Yes, definitely Glühwein side. So we say in German. Yes, our Glühwein, mulled wine, pretty much the same. But thank you so much for sharing this with us today. And yeah, I'm a little bit envious of your choice of the dish today. So if you would have picked that, I would have made that one.
Absolutely. Now I'm just going to get the fire going and chill out for the afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
No
and we're going to Rana, who has have you finished your biscottis, the double cooked? Then yep. Let's see, let's hear.
Yep. Have I unmuted myself? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Cool. All right. I have, this is not too bad. That's just what's the offcuts, the bit that fell apart. That's one of the main reasons why I choose to chuck the nuts by hand, because if you've got big chunks of nuts, sometimes makes the cutting a little bit tricky. So that's why I did, that's not too bad wastage wise. And are they too hot for me to handle? Yes, the trays are still a little bit hot. They don't look any different to what they did when they went in, but they're just nicely browned. And they'll be nice and crispy once they cool down. Yeah. So I've got 2 trays of those. The other thing that when I added the recipe for this to the recipe for Bayside Thermix community this morning, I added a little bonus, and I was actually just chopping up that while I was there, which is just a plain old basic brownie for those members of my family that don't like almonds and biscotti. It's in the files and in the oven in 20 minutes. It's super quick, easy. Yum. Naughty, but yum.
Naughty, that's all right. That's how we know you. And no, in the best
Not
way.
only.
No, in the best way. No. Thanks so much. Yeah, so bonus recipe from Melissa in the Bayside Thermix community. Again, if you're not part of that group yet, find us on Facebook and I will add you to the group. And I think we are going to Elizabeth next.
Yep.
There we go. And let's see how the scallops are looking. Ooh.
Now, it's a bit tricky to turn this on. It's, oh, I know, I've got no idea. Hang on, I'm going to go out of shot. Watch this. I want you to see how absolutely delicious this looks now. Is that better?
Yes, that's great.
How's that?
Wow.
So I'm going to go around back and just run it around.
Are these edible flowers in the middle?
They are. They are. I'm going to start making with for all our guests. We have an in-house competition to make some amazing cake. So I've bought the flowers to decorate the crockenbush part of it. But I just want to let you see. I get to eat it. Yummy. Oh, garlicky. But yum.
You put in two.
I did. Probably actually not necessary, but it's still delicious. And it's just such a nice combination, the chives with the scallops and the cauliflower. I'm very fond of cauliflower. And by the way, cauliflower at the moment is very cheap. I've seen it go up to $5. It was $2.50 at Woolworths when I've just bought this morning. So if you like cauliflower, go shopping.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you for joining me in my kitchen. It's been fun for me. I'm sorry about the dog barking because I have a lot of people walking past out in the streets, even though it's raining. I don't understand.
Haven't even heard your dog. So, but yeah, thanks so much for sharing. Great savoury dish. And if you ask me, that's a real showstopper. Absolutely.
Yummy.
Okay, I think we're going back one more time to Megan. And let's see. Oh, the Tower of Power.
Here it is. Oh, one.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Oh, beautiful. Another showstopper.
So it actually says, you can make a few towers. So you definitely could. That's only like a third, probably of them. So you could make it, a few along the table. That would look very nice at Christmas time. If you had 3 plates or something, that'd be great. Yeah. So we're going to have that tonight.
Fantastic. It looks really great, and you made it so simple. I really hope that we have inspired someone here today to give the Pavlova a try, because it's definitely possible to do that in a Thermomix. And these little ones are, I must say, they look much more tempting to me than a huge Pavlova. So
yeah. Well, now the other thing is also because you do have more. If you had people that don't like fruit, I do have one of those in my house. You could do chocolate chips. You could do the chocolate mousse instead in between. That would be nice for those people. So you could have a different flavor, or you could do the traditional peppermint crisp type Pavlova Tower too. One other thing is, I don't know if Monsi is here today, but she's our colleague and she wasn't feeling well. So if she's watching, I hope she's feeling better soon.
Oh, thank you so much, Megan, for thinking of, I think she's on. She's just hovering in the background, but yeah, thanks so much for giving her a shout out, and we miss her dearly. We would have loved to have her today here as well. All right, so one more round coming back to me, and so you can see I messed it up. My chocolate custard is somewhere in there, but nevertheless, let's give it a quick test, a taste test, and I'm sure. Yes, definitely. Oh, nice and sweet, still warm. That's how I like my custard, and so you can make it low carb. I won't say keto friendly, because of the tapioca starch that's in there. It's obviously also a little bit of carbs, but I think just tiny bits, if you can replace the sugar, that's one step further ahead towards a little bit more healthier way of eating, if you so will. Okay, so thanks again so much for joining and spending your afternoon with us. We certainly had a ball. Again, my offer, if you want to join our team, there is room for more. Do what we do. We learn from each other every time we're doing this. And if you want to get more out of your thermal mix, why not joining the team, joining the business, and even, well, not only have great colleagues to work with, but also have probably a little bit of extra income. Remember, half price business kit, $62.50 until the end of the month. I cannot stress that enough. My arms are open for everyone who wants to give it a try. And yeah, if you want to, I'll hang on here a little bit longer and just let's say goodbye to everyone else. Thanks for joining and have a great afternoon. Bye.